Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the live Q&A event for Leicester Tigers. I'm joined today by Speedo, who looks after the Tigers stuff for us, and Andy, who is our section head for sport. So I'm going to pass you over to Speedo, who's going to do a presentation for you to talk about everything Leicester Tigers. I'm just going to send you live now, Speedo. Hopefully that's working. All right, you're live now.
Well, thank you, Alex. Mike, can everyone hear me okay? Andy, Alex, is that?
We can hear you, yeah.
So just whilst my presentation is loading up, like Alex said, I'll introduce myself. So my name's Stephen Baker, aka Speedo, and I've been involved with the college since we began our rugby program here in 2014. We've seen some exponential growth over the last few years, including the start of this year where we're kind of having multiple different programs, which I'm going to do my best to try and explain throughout this presentation. By all means, if you have any questions, can I ask that you type them in the Q&A box, and I will look to answer as many of them as possible at the end of the presentation. Likewise, if you have any educational questions, Andy's here to assist with that if I'm unable to provide you the relevant information. Okay, so this first bit is just a quick video, which hopefully will work.
Can still see you.
From us.
Can still see you at the moment.
Video working?
Can still see you. Let me see. I might be able to make it live. Wait, I can do it. Here we go. Okay, now we can see the screen.
Okay. All right. Well, we just missed the driving more there. So unless you're a true Tigers fan at work, so it's just a highlights reel of some of our games over the previous few seasons. I've tried my best to get a variety of our fixtures here. This was an under-17s fixture for us. We have some of our ace game highlights, including our playoff final from last season against Hartbury, and we also have a few highlights from our development fixtures, where we play some outstanding colleges at the same time too. So we get a vast array of quality of rugby throughout the programme. Just let this play out. So this is our development team playing against Doncaster. And this was our ace team playing in our third place final match from last season, so December last season. Last highlight. Cool. So yeah, this is what our rugby program looks like at the college in the best layman's terms that we could put. I just want to stress something. So at the top of the pyramid, it says about DICE. This is an education adjunct, so I'm not going to touch too much on this, as there's a lot of variables that's going to distinguish who gets offered those places, including level of performance and level of study. So people who get accepted onto DICE, they won't know until much later on in the year, so I'm not going to touch too much on that. As you can see, we've got the 3 stages below that. So ACE which is now ACE, formerly AASE, so the Academy Colleges in Education. We'll have 30 places. We're limited to 30 places for each year group in that stage. However, underneath, you can see that there's a development group who will also be on a bespoke timetable within their educational studies. A little bit less contact hours, so ACE will get 8 hours of training, development get about 6, but you have that timetable into your lessons. If you're on sports science or agriculture, and then enrichment's rugby open to all, so you could study whatever subject, whatever level across the college, and you'll have the time available to train with us, and obviously you'll be available to play in fixtures, lessons dependent and permission dependent from your lecturers. What we do want to stress is that there will be a fluid movement between of selection of teams. Obviously, this year's not quite come to fruition of that. However, from our training groups, there's certainly been some development lads who have kind of jumped up into some of our what would be our second team places. So it goes to show that even just over a short period of time, and obviously depending on late development, exposure to the rugby, you get that opportunity to progress through our system effectively. Likewise, 3 of our second years got promoted into the ACE group for this academic year, having started in the development program last year. So credit to those guys for doing that. Like I said, I'm not going to talk too much about DICE, but basically trying to sum up the difference. So like I said, ACE, you'll get a bespoke timetable with 8 hours of training, and depending on your study, your sports science or agriculture, and these will be invitation places sent out to, in quotation marks, higher level players, and this will be very much done through myself and the academy team offering those places. The development program, as I said, it's not too different other than just a slight change in the available contact time, i.e. coaching time that you'll have with us, but again, you'll get your bespoke timetable for 6 hours of training across those same courses, and development programs open to all students on those courses. So this year we have 31 players currently in the development program on top of the 60 across both years of ACE. So we've got a squad of over 90 players at the moment, and like I said, some of those lads already, if fixtures were being played, would have certainly been representing in our ACE second team, if not first team group. And then enrichment's open to those who study whatever course. There is enrichment in your timetables, which is pretty much your lunchtime. So depending on what course you are, you can have up to 2 hours of training available with us, and likewise, like I said, you'll be available for games subject to permission from your course or lecturers. Here's just a very brief kind of to differentiate what the offers have. So obviously the green ticks are saying that these are absolutely 100% provided from those programs. So with the ACE, you'll have access to gym, physio, nutrition for our S&C guys, lifestyle education and career planning through the coaches, and IDP, which is your individual development plan, which basically means all of that will be timetabled into those 8 hours of contact time. Development focus, obviously, like I said, we've got 2 hours less, so we focus on getting that gym and IDP time into you. However, you do have access and information available for your physio, nutrition, etc. Okay, and that's subject dependent on whether we choose to have a down week, so to speak, and we have a classroom session instead, or whether you take your individual responsibility and look to ask myself or some of the other coaches and staff about providing yourself with that information. How can I build lean muscle mass through my diet, or I'm looking to study this at university, can you possibly help me with my UCAS application? We are here to support on those fronts, and that's why they're yellow ticks, because they're not necessarily timetabled in, but you 100% have access to that. And likewise with the enrichment, so all of that's yellow tick, because again, you do have the access to it. Due to the training time that you'll have available, you won't have direct gym contact time with us. However, we can provide you with a program that you can complete in your own time, either at college permitted times when they have open gym sessions, or whether you're at home at your local gym. Just a few case studies, so I'll load the guys up here. So these aren't all our rugby playing success stories. We currently have 3 players in the full senior Leicester Tigers squad at the moment. George Martin, Archie Baines and Sam Edwards. But these lads are just to go to show that our tagline for the rugby program is to transition you onto the next level of performance, whether that be rugby, education or lifestyle. So I've highlighted Shay here, who's one of our original intake. He now is a casual coach and works for us part-time in the Tigers community. And he's done so well with us and developed himself in that side of things. He actually went on one of our international camps over to Italy and coached over there for 2 weeks with some of my colleagues. George, same age grade as Shay. He had a longer kind of journey to get into the professional rugby. So he graduated in 2017 with us, played 0 representative rugby. So he didn't play county, Midlands or anything like that. He went off and worked really hard on his personal development, and he got offered a professional contract with Championship side Jersey Reds last season. So he's part of their squad at the moment. Matt graduated from the sixth form course in 2018. He's still with us at the moment. We're still supporting him through his final degree course. So he's on his final year's degree course at the moment, and we're helping him with his dissertation studies next week, where he's going to implement the S&C sessions for our development group and help us look at some studies that can hopefully help us provide a better training support networks for those guys. And the lads at the bottom, numerous of different playing successes. So Harris, he went on and played with our sister club over in Belgium for last season. He unfortunately obviously had to come back due to COVID. However, he did have a 2-year contract out there and ended up playing. He was a starting 9 for them, and they play in the Belgian Premiership division, and they had reached the finals of their league and cup competitions, and looking to retain that for the 2nd year running. So successful on that front. Leo started our program again with not being part of the academy, but over his 2 years with us, he matured a lot. He worked really hard, and come his under-18 season, got offered an academy opportunity due to some injuries in the back 3. He excelled in that, and he ended up getting a development contract last year. So he was in the Tigers senior squad last year as well, having not represented from the academy. And he was able to achieve that through the contact time he had with us. And likewise with Jordan here, he unfortunately didn't get offered a development contract in the end this year, but he was on the short list. Obviously COVID disrupted quite a lot of that. And I do honestly believe that if maybe we had the full season, that he would have progressed further and had that potential opportunity to be offered the development contract this year. These guys are now gone off to university and playing Super Bucks rugby. So Leo's gone off to Cardiff Met, and Jordan got offered a scholarship at Manchester Met University instead. So they've transitioned really well in terms of the rugby and educational side from us. These are some of the competitions we play in. So obviously we play in the ACE League. We look to play the ACE second teams as much as we can. And we also enter the Association of Colleges competitions. So we're in 2 leagues for that this year. We're in the Premiership group and we're in a Midlands group. So that would be represented from the ACE second teams and the development groups. Individually, we're currently county cup holders for the schools, and we enter Roslyn Park every year in terms of our 7th season, which we look to do in the spring terms of the years. Last few kind of details. So, like I said, it's a fluid movement between the squads. So, touch wood, when fixtures are allowed to be played again, all squad players will be available for the selection in those teams. Where possible, we'll take 23-man squads, i.e. if that's based on league regulations, and obviously that's based on front row availability. Otherwise, we'll take the 22, which is the maximum if you don't have the full 3 front row replacements. We followed our RFU half game rules, so we support that, and we make sure players are getting the right halves of games and full matches, dependent on whether they have important clubs or representative games outside of this. So if the lads have, for example, county or Midlands representation coming up, obviously we want to help provide them with that maximum opportunity. So we're in discussion with themselves and their coaches and supporting that playing program. So we'd obviously want you to play it in the college game as well, but taking into account that the representation stuff and your club fixtures might be priority for you those weekends. So the only thing we kind of say is we don't want players playing 2 full games within a 7-day period. So obviously we'll look to try and say, look, can you play a half there, which will allow a full game there, or you can play 50 minutes of us, which will allow 50 minutes elsewhere. But that's really important in terms of individuals having that conversation with us, and likewise us being in close contact with our stakeholders. That's just a rough idea of what the timetables look like. So there's a lot of columns here. If I can just kind of highlight. So this is trying to stress the difference. So this is enrichment, okay, going into development, okay, and then so effectively looking at these 3s. So you can see there the difference in contact time. So obviously the enrichment only have the hour session here. Development, you have almost an hour and a half, 2 hours. Okay, and the age group will have that 2 hours sessions on the Mondays. Okay, effectively, in short, you're looking at your academic lessons being in the mornings and Thursdays, and your rugby's will be in the PMs with us, with games fixtures on a Wednesday. Cool. I think I flew through that quite a bit. So I'll stop sharing my screen and I'll try my very best to answer any questions that have come up on the Q&A section.
Yeah, we've had one question from Matt who asked, do you have to do a trial?
Previous years, yes, we've had, I don't want to call them trials as such, we've had open sessions because, like I said, some of the ACE places are already kind of subject to the lads who potentially get academy honours. So we have open sessions to kind of then differentiate who will be offered an ACE or a development position instead. Obviously, with the current climate, we're not sure how that's going to look at the moment. We're certainly hoping to hold something later on in the year, so we tend to hold these sessions around March and April anyway, so quite later on. So please keep in contact in terms of the Brooksby website and the Leicester Tigers website and social feed to keep an eye out for any of those dates. But at the moment, none planned. We would like to do something, obviously dependent on COVID regulations and rules at the moment.
So in that case then, is it best for people to apply for sport or sports science or agriculture, whatever course it is they want to do alongside their rugby pathway, and then you'll get in touch with them about the Tigers side later on?
Yeah, perfect. That's a really good point, Alex. I probably should have added that in the presentation in terms of how to apply. So if you go onto the Brooksby website and go through the application process, of course, when you look at sports science or agriculture, you'll have the opportunity to click the sports academies alongside of it. So it will say rugby, football, netball alongside it. If you click that, that will highlight that you're interested in the sports academies, and obviously you can type in the notes there that you're looking at joining the rugby program from that admission share the information with us, and we do blanket emails to all those to keep in contact with people and keep them up to date with the information and any dates and trials or open sessions or the goings on through that email process afterwards.
Yeah, when you apply, there's a space to put a personal statement. So if you just mention in there that you'd like to do something with Tigers, and perhaps if you've got any experience with rugby in the past, that just helps Speedo and the team move your application along a little bit quicker. In terms of communication throughout the year, we did some like student welcome days and things last year, which were virtual. And as Speedo said, it's all sort of playing it by ear at the moment, but we do a lot to keep in touch with you throughout the year, keep you up to date. So do not worry about that. We've had another question in that says, do you get provided with kit?
So there is kit package available to buy. We've now changed that process, so this will all be through the Leicester Tigers shop, provided by Samurai. So it's at the trade price of kit. It's not a made for profit thing for us. Okay, it's at trade price to the supply for students. So obviously we changed to Samurai this year, and kit will be available to buy on acceptance into college and enrollment, and then through the Tigers website, through the Tigers Club Shop website.
Brilliant. Ben has asked, when you say academy, do you mean DPG /DPP, etc.?
Yeah, so obviously our junior academy stuff's been put on hold, so our DPP, PDG and TDGs, all the acronyms. So my colleagues involved with the junior academy, so Greg Mannion and Dave Wilkes, they will obviously be in close contact with the players who they see looking to get academy contracts going into their 17s and 18s, and obviously as part of that we try to provide them with the places in the good to great school systems which we come under. So I think we have 18 academy players at Brooksby at the moment, if I remember off the top of my head, with a further 5 or 6 who've just been released, so they're still involved, as under 17s. So yes, a lot of the ace players will be kind of offered out to our TDG and DPP players first, based on knowing them and knowing them being part of the system. However, that's not guaranteed that you'll get an ace place. Likewise, those who haven't been part of that process, is not to say that you won't be offered an ace place. And like I said, either way, you'll be offered a rugby opportunity on our development program as well, and you have that fluid movement throughout the year to potentially get promoted up into those groups.
Great. And I just thought we should mention the degree level as well. I don't know if you covered that in your presentation, but that's obviously an option for people to progress on to as well, isn't it?
Yeah, so like I said, Matt was one of our case studies, so he's been with us for 5 years now. We've helped him progress with his playing, and like I said, we're now supporting those 3 students with their dissertation studies this year. And what we've done with them is we haven't got a degree playing team, but we've provided their individual support for outside rugby and their work experience and industry experience. So year 1, the guys did work experience with us at Welford Road across the different commercial sides. So the marketing, the sponsorship and sales, communications teams, community. So they went out and did some coaching and officiating for us. Year 2, they then kind of took a more specialised route, if you will, and we provided them with support through the college program. So the guys looking at coaching, we tried assisting them with more community opportunities. Those interested in going down an S&C or PT route, we've provided them with opportunities to shadow our S&C program at the college. With likewise this year, they're now actually doing a day a week with us, providing the S&C for some of the groups. So The 3 HE students are in Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and they're delivering sessions under our support at the moment, and likewise giving back to us by providing us some scientific support and research through their studies. So a very unique and bespoke offer from the HE side of things, if guys or girls are looking at that side. Ooh, sorry, Alex. Alex, you're on mute.
Sorry, thank you. We're going to have to end it there. We have had a couple more questions, so I'll pass those on to Speedo and get him to answer those. We can post the answers on our social media feeds. I think will be the best way to do it so everybody can see it. Thank you for listening today. If you do want to apply, you can do so on our website. And if you have any more questions for Speedo or Andy, please email them to course-inquiries@brooksbymelton.ac.uk, and we'll get them passed on to them. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.